Hi, it's Hazel and welcome to my channel. This is going to be the first of what may be several videos about organizational tips. Now, this is my second take because, of course, this is handheld and I had my phone vertically and it makes for a very skinny video no matter how you flip it and rotate it and so on. So I'm going to try again so that this is more viewer friendly. Before I open the doors of these cupboards, I'm going to just slowly walk over and show you a paper storage thing that I have going on in this area. Now, hopefully you can see this plastic, oh, I see it's Fellows brand. It holds obviously many pieces, stacks of paper. This is where I've got some of my colored paper stored. So let's just get over here. And those, of course, are some books that you just saw in that shot. Okay, so this is one of those Ikea cupboards, wardrobe thingamajiggers. And you can see that it's got a rod. And a couple of cubbies. Oh goody, there's a shot of off the lint from the dryer. This cupboard is right across from the washer dryer. So we all know that these things are not particularly well made, but hey, they're affordable. So I am very cognizant of how much weight that little old rod can actually hold, because of course those screws, those brackets are just into particle board. Anyway, over here on the left, I have one of those fabric organizing things that basically just velcros over the top of the rod. So I didn't jam pack all the cubbies because, of course, like I said, concerned about, pulling the rod out of the sidewalls. So basically, I'll just kind of briefly show you what I've got here. So here is some fabric that I have salvaged from saris, and you may remember seeing some of these in thrift videos. This, believe it or not, is some fabric left from a project that I did in high school home ec. Crazy. More sari. This glittery thing, I think might have been a little girl's dress or something that I took apart. In this cubby hole, I have just a few doilies. Now I have many more, but these are ones that I got through thrifting and could and should be using, guilt-free. In this one, I've got a house dress that you may have seen and a blouse that I deconstructed from a recent, as a result of a haul. This, believe it or not, is a cushion cover, also from home ec, and that is huck toweling, huck weaving on that toweling material. This whole section, and it's not inclusive, it's not the total selection, are basically pillowcases. Down here are some kind of heavier fabrics, and in this plastic bag, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I had I did a video on rusting, and so I wanted, even though I rinsed them, which supposedly is supposed to stop the rusting process, I didn't want those pieces to stain anything else or continue rusting, so I kind of tried to enclose them. This box here, I don't often use it, but it's just like a spray box. Sorry, it's for if a person is spraying, you know, to catch the overspray. So on these two wooden hangers, this is a large, gigantic plastic tablecloth for paper dyeing, or, you know, could be used on a gel plate as well. The second hanger represents bits and pieces of a round tablecloth that I had cut into sections that were a more usable size. Hubby just walked in. This hanger shows, I mean, it's these are essentially fabric tubes that I made for another project, and who knows, maybe someday I'll show you what that is, since I have all this prep work done. Now the next three hangers are, well, I guess this first one is essentially what I would call a skirt hanger, and hopefully you can tell that it's vintage, it's very strong, and of course very practical. The top one shows pillowcases that I've sort of salvaged, or at least parts of pillowcases. And obviously I have way more room that I forgot about that I should be and will be using. I'm going to switch hands here, hopefully without covering the lens or shutting off the camera. This next one has, I guess, what you'd basically call a table runner, and so much of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful garment that I took apart that has all this luscious color and motifs that are just perfectly, you know, boho inspired. The next one, this is a tea towel, and this, I realize, oops, maybe if I, oh, sorry, maybe if I open this door a bit, we get a little more of the overhead light. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's as far as it goes. This fabric, now this has been tea or coffee dyed, but believe it or not, this was a fabric that I had back in the day, in the 80s, when Dusty Rose was a thing. And these were panels, curtain panels on the 3 windows in the kitchen. And of course, you know, I don't know if you're like this, but, you know, like if you need 1 yard, then you buy 2 or 3, just in case. So there's some other fabrics here that are lovely. And part of the reason why I use this system is, number one, it doesn't take up that much space. And secondly, if I've gone to the trouble of washing and ironing these things, I don't want to fold them and you know, set new creases in them, or have to re-iron them at some point. So that's sort of the rationale for this. So this, I think, is what you call a polished cotton. Just some other lovely florals. That might have been an old bed sheet. Here is some brand new fabric. Sorry, I guess you can't probably see that very well. But anyway, it was intended for a journal cover. It has never been used, but of course, should be. Here is a similar thing, a new purchase, which is like a vintage map. See you. And some upholstery samples. Now, when I say new purchase, we're still talking, you know, a couple, 3 years ago, when I first stumbled into the world of junk journals. Now, this is one of those scarf hangers. This one is really heavy duty, and it's got that flocked feeling to it, which I guess is supposed to prevent things from slipping off. So as I was taking apart these different saris, I ended up, of course, with some, you know, some strips. And it just seemed to me that, yes, I could roll them up and make, you know, these fat little rolls of trim, but that tends to be fairly bulky and take a lot of space, as well as, I mean, just sort of, I don't know what you'd call that, but just, you know, making, not rolling it, but just, I don't know if you know what I mean, but I didn't want to put extra creases in them. So I am giving this a shot, and obviously I have many more slots that I could put something in. Now these lower ones, of course, will not be as practical. And then this final hanger, oh sorry, I go too fast and makes it blurry, are just some aprons. I don't think they're all my aprons, but aprons I've acquired, I mean. Is this not the sweetest, loveliest, daintiest, most beautifulest print you've ever seen? And it's one of those sort of bib aprons. No, not a bib apron. It's like what's like a smock almost. This is I've got a chicken one that I got, or a couple chicken ones. I got a flock of chickens here. And anyway, okay, let me just distribute the weight again on this rod and show you what I have down here. Now, if you saw a recent haul video, you know that this pink was an apron, as was this one. Now, these I've taken apart. I've got some tea towels that I've taken out of service and are washed and waiting to be, you know, slow stitched on. This is a tablecloth that I acquired recently. And the rest of these things are either cushion covers that I've sort of rolled up to prevent creases, or sets of napkins. These, I think, are tea towels. They're, you know, the old-fashioned thing, very coarse fabric. They have the days of the week on them. I don't think I have all 7, but you know, all of these things are waiting for projects, waiting for some action. I'll just show you two that I have. One of my sewing baskets there. This is one of those ironing, you know, cover thingamajigs, like if I wanted to just iron on the island or a counter or something. A pressing cloth from back when I thought I was going to be a tailor or something. Sewing machine manual for one of the sewing machines. Another, my original sewing basket, and some stacks of paper. Okay, that's it for there. Now, sorry, again, I'm struggling with this. In the walk-in closet, I have, but I dragged it here for this video, I have this floor towel, towel rack. But I am using this one for more fabric storage. Again, same reason, iron it, don't have to, don't want to crease it. This is just a large Ukrainian style shawl, big fringe, don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Now this is the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. So naturally, I'm not doing anything with it. I'm hoarding it. There is enough here, obviously, for a couple of journal covers, or 4 perhaps. These are a couple of placemats, kind of an odd size. I should actually roll them and add them to the others. You know, this whole business of organizing is never ending, because most of us don't have the luxury of the time to stop everything and just do it all. So we do the best we can with what we have at the time, and then hopefully maintain the system and continue adding to it. Because we know that if we put things together that belong together, we're more likely to understand the scope and size of our collection, as well as find it when we actually want to use it. This is a tapestry type thing. It's a cushion, no, it's a placemat. I thought it was a cushion cover. And I thought that would make a great journal at some point, journal cover at some point. I've got, I don't know what this is exactly, I've forgotten. I think it's just a fabric remnant, but you can see it's got a lot of color and a lot of motifs that would lend themselves to fussy cutting or whatever. That, I believe, that's probably part of a sheet, bed sheet. This is something that I think I bought as a remnant as well, that seems to have this batik look to it. So you can see that there's a lot of that there. And then, of course, Ukrainian kid, I was in search of poppy fabric. So when I found it, of course, I had to buy and buy and buy. So that is that. Now, since we're kind of in this area, I'm just thinking I might show you a couple of other things of interest, I hope. I have, well, okay, one thing at a time. Sorry. This, you may have heard me talk about this nest. Now, in case you think that we're nest robbers, no. But when my husband was going to seed this spring, a mother had obviously made this nest on one of the cross pieces on a cultivator. So naturally, it had to come off there. So of course, he salvaged it for me. And the reason I'm showing it to you is I have never in my life, and I hope that the colors on my camera and on your device are showing the true colors here, because I have never seen robin eggs that look like that. Typically, they're a much lighter, softer blue, but these are literally teal in color. Another thing that I have here are some of my paintings. Now this one is a watercolor. I like it because, again, those primary colors, the looseness of it, the fact that I went in with a Stabilo all on the watercolor, and I just, correct me if I'm wrong, or say so in the comments, I want to take this frame apart and scan this, because of course it was done before, before scanning was a thing. And I want to scan it and, use it as part of a digital kit in my Etsy store. So let me know if you're interested in scanned copies of some original art. Now, as I swing over here, these are a few items that I picked up the other day. I was doing a wedding. I had performed a wedding, and as I was on my way home, I saw a sign for a garage sale, so naturally I had to screech and find it. Now, I don't have any plans, as far as I know, to do an Asian themed journal. What the heck, no matter how I hold this, it's upside down. Sorry. But is that not a lovely fabric? I love those colors. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And I don't know what this is. It's square. I don't know. But anyway, it's on a pile here waiting to be laundered. I grabbed this doily, or this scarf thing, dresser scarf thing, because of the color of that trim. I've never seen that color thread before. And you can see, or hopefully you can see, that it's kind of variegated because it goes from, it's lighter, darker. So that will be a great one to use, and it's rectangular. This, we've all seen these kinds of doilies. That rose is a little bit bulky, but I'm thinking that once I wash it, and probably maybe if I iron it, I could flatten it out a bit and take some of the bulk away. couple more doilies, and I never want to get to the point where I'm blasé about doilies because, of course, I don't know how I couldn't do this to save my life, and I appreciate the blood, sweat, and tears and thread and so on that went into doing these things by some of the people who have come before. I bought a couple of tablecloths. Now this one, I won't bother trying to unfold it, has 4 of these, you know, a design in each corner, 4 of these. So there's lots to work with there. Now the issue, of course, because I just took apart a tablecloth, is that when they put them on the diagonal like this, sometimes it's hard to square this off if you want to, you know, pick a thread and tear it, or pick a thread and follow it with your scissors. So just a word of caution that if you're ever doing that, kind of be careful, because you might find that your tear goes awry. And I realize that every so often I'm casting a shadow here, so I apologize for that. Now this is another tablecloth with a more, you know, less intense, more delicate design. Again, 4 corners. Whoops. See, when I shot this video earlier, it was a lot brighter. I mean, I was still using ceiling lights, but anyway, such is the challenges in the world of showbiz. While I'm here, I also want to show you one other thing. Well, a couple other things. I have one of these. Let me drag it over here with one hand. This patterned box, and padded box, I mean, fabric covered box. And it is full. It's, I'd say, almost 5 inches tall, full of embroidery thread, skeins and loose pieces. These are basically threads that I have salvaged from the millions of kits, penny point kits that I had, as well as, you know, some thrifted purchases and so on. So I would say that I have enough thread to last me a lifetime. Let's push this back. If you saw a thrifting video that I did, I don't know, it must have just appeared because I've gotten comments about it lately. And in it, I came across a set of shower hooks and the design. Each shower hook was actually a little resin outhouse. And apparently a lot of you were amused by my efforts to, in front of your very eyes, take it apart. And of course, I had forgotten until it was too late that I had done this little painting of an outhouse. So it's tiny. It's maybe 3 inches tall or so. But anyway, there is my little watercolor outhouse. Hey, right in this vicinity, I also have that painting of a sad iron. And, oh, you know what? I can show you a couple more that I've done. Again, I'll just try to do this quickly. That is a watercolor tractor covered in snow, and kind of really reminiscent of kind of the farm scene around here in winter. Obviously, this tractor is from the 50s. It belonged to my in-laws, and even this many years later, it is serving. It's a great little runaround tractor here at the farm. And then this one I have a soft spot for because, of course, we used to have cattle. Now this is fairly high on the wall, so the angle, it's probably not square in the way you're seeing it, but I call this one Red Cow, White Cow. Now, does she have the knack for naming her paintings or what? It's a little acrylic. It's probably 8 by 10 or so. I absolutely love it. I captured those girls beautifully, I think. I like the high horizon line. And what more can I say? I just love it. So, oh, and maybe I'll just pan down and finish talking and show you sort of some of my padlocks. I think I do have a kit. Let me get some of this other stuff out of the way. I do have a kit that shows that uses a lot of photos of some of these padlocks. So I have a soft spot for them. Anyway, guys, I will begin winding up here. I hope that you consider some of the suggestions I've made in terms of how you might want to store your fabric. I do have a couple more of those fabric cubby type things that you hang over a rod in another closet. And of course, there is fabric there as well. Now, if you're a butterfly, and that's in the clutterbug realm of definitions, then you need to see your stuff, and you need to have a system that is easy to put away and so on. So I think that these methods, and as long as the person opens a closet door and looks, these methods are a pretty good way of doing it. I know that I'm more likely, I more regularly see these fabrics than those that I have in storage ottomans or drawers or, so there is something to be said for that. I will also say that if you saw my last video, I believe it would have been the one on self-cover buttons, I began a new practice, and that is to randomly draw a piece of paper out of a little box that dictates what project I'm going to do next. I'm kind of really tired of having a lot of things started and in various states of completion. And since I can't seem to, pick a project and take it through to completion, I'm using this arbitrary blind draw to dictate what I'm going to do next. And because it's done on camera and because it has you as witnesses, people who can remind me and, lay on a guilt trip or gently tease me or whatever, hopefully that will get me getting some of these things done and either listed for sale or put into my own personal collection, but at least completed for the, and hopefully if I do more of these organizational snippets, it will also remind me of what I have, as well as hopefully give you some usable information that you can transfer or adapt to your own situation. So I'm going to stop here. Hopefully this format is the right one, and I'm going to begin downloading again. And I'm also going to finally finish some Etsy listings. I did the Etsy restock video ages ago, but of course I can't post it until I've got the things actually listed in the store. So anyway, watch for that one as well. Hopefully there are some items there that interest you. I will again thank you for visiting, for subscribing, and if you haven't done so already, I hope you choose to do so now. We are I like to say clawing and scratching our way to 500 subscribers, and for those of you who are regular viewers, you know that means there will be a giveaway, and I want you to be part of it. Oh, one other thing. Now that the 100-day project is over, this is a more erratic, random posting of videos. I know I was kind of MIA there for a while because we were finishing a landscape project and I promised to show you the the results of, as well as an extended visit by family. So things got, things kind of bogged down there for a while. And I felt a gaping hole because I wasn't able to regularly craft. So now, hopefully, that is being remedied. But the point I'm trying to get to is, what did Ellen say? Ellen DeGeneres? Yes, I do have a point. Wait, no, sorry, I shouldn't have started that. I can't remember the quote exactly. My point, and I do have one, is that in order to, because of the erratic posting schedule, the best way to know what is being uploaded is to hit the notification bell as well. And that way, whether it's, Sunday, Monday, morning, noon, night, you'll be aware of what I'm doing. I will also do a shout out to subscribers who are regularly commenting and who routinely make me laugh. I had someone tell me, I was replying to comments this morning, somebody tell me, I guess she was trying to tell me that she's, maybe a bit accident prone or maybe a wee bit clumsy or something. Anyway, she said that she's been known to trip over painted lines. So of course I burst out laughing, and I thought, isn't that a great way to start my day, by having a laugh courtesy of one of you. So that is sweet. That's part of the payoff here, is getting to know you guys through your comments and through your observations of the videos and so on. So please continue to do that. It truly matters. And yeah, I'm going to stop there because I have a video to upload. See you guys next time. Bye.